What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to DSM Pregame Live. I'm live here with my man, George Ryder.
Great to be back.
Today we break down the Phillies Marlins game one of a 3-game set, lineup cards, pitching matchup, keys to victory, and much, much more. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
Gets around in front. Joel Embiid
and Philadelphia has it.
Yes, sir. What is going on? I am your host, Dylan Davis. You can find me on Twitter at DylanJD98. To my left, my co-host here on Pregame Live, George Ryder. Check him out on Twitter at _George Ryder as we stream to you guys live on DSM Media through our Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter channels. If you're new to the channel, you know the drill. Head on over to at DSM_media. Hit that follow button. Click the link tree in our bio. It'll take you to every social media account we are available on. Specifically, guys, head on over to the YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button. Like this video. Turn on notifications. Do all that good stuff for us as we're trying to continue to grow on that platform. And, George, it's also the best way for everybody to interact with myself and you on today's show and any show we do, because it's the easiest way for us to see and pull up your comments, questions, thoughts. So head on over, hit that subscribe button, and let's get started. But first, buddy, how are you? A little tired today?
Yeah, I'm a little tired. I worked in the heat all day, but I had to make it here. Phils are back. It's a big day.
Phils are so back.
Phils are so back in many, many ways. Off of a one-day break, winning 10 out of the last 11. You could say
11 out of the last 13 or 11-2.
There's a lot of we are backs in this scenario, so I'm feeling great. It's a good Tuesday. Get to go up against the Marlins. Definitely a different Phillies team than the previous year, so the Marlins aren't as scary. So I'm feeling great.
Well, let's talk about that for a second, right? Before we get into tonight's matchup specifically, and our thoughts heading into it, I want to go over this weekend as the Phils sweep the Washington Nationals.
Yes.
Not just sweep, not just beat them, beat the life out of a bad team, out of lesser competition. You mentioned it. It's different. Why? Because it's something they haven't been able to do for the last year or two when trying to make this postseason run in August and September, right? They might have won a series versus the Nationals. They might have won a series versus the Pirates. They're not sweeping bad teams in 4-game sets. They're not scoring 5 runs in 4 innings in game one to hold on to victory there before the rain came, then scoring 7, 11, and 13. The pitching from the starters to the back end of the bullpen has been phenomenal as of late. The ball is flying. I believe it was the most home runs they've hit in a series in years.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
They're firing on all cylinders. Why is it different now, George?
Because we have a real core. I mean, it's true. We have the staff and we have the players. Everything is just kind of here now, which is crazy to think about because in years prior, it's like, we roll over and die against the Nationals. We roll over and we die against the Marlins. We need to come out and win a 3-game set against the Marlins, and we win 1 of 3. And it's like that stuff happens. Now you see a team, they won 10 in the last 11. A lot of people screaming it's against bad competition, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter. That's what you're supposed to do against bad competition. And Phillies teams in the past have not done that ever.
Correct.
So now we're at a point where you have your core, you know who you are. This is probably a team that you're going to see in the next few years just get better and better, and it's finally here, and you can kind of feel it. Bryce goes down, things still kind of stay afloat, and then they just turn a switch, and these bats are fire. The arms are on fire. It's just everything that you could really want.
So I want to touch on your point about it just being the Nationals, right? Jason, who's in the comments right now, me and him spoke on this on Trending in the AM on Monday morning. It's just the Nationals crowd. It's just the Pirates crowd. Well, there's a few things you need to dissect in that argument, right? People forget you only play who's in front of you. You only play your schedule. So when the Phillies were playing difficult series after difficult series in the first 2 months and they were struggling, was anyone talking about how it's a very difficult schedule? No, but now that it's easing up, now that it's a little bit lighter, they have an easy schedule. They should be doing this to these teams. And in all reality, no, they shouldn't. We talk about it all the time. Good teams, great teams lose
A lot.
all the time.
Mhm.
Like we just saw the Mets, who are on fire as well, lose DeGrom's debut against the Nationals, who the Phillies just swept in 4 games.
How many
So
Ks did he have?
exactly. So
It's like-
that's point one. You can only play who's in front of you. The other thing is the Phillies have beaten good teams all year.
Oh, yeah.
Back when they were inconsistent, back when Girardi was still here, they've won the season series over the Dodgers. They've won the season series over the Brewers. They've won the season series over the Cardinals. I can keep going with the list if you want. They're 500 against the World Series champs, the Atlanta Braves, this season. So they've beaten good teams. It's not like they only beat bad teams and that's why they're here, right? And they're doing this without, like you said, Gene's back now, but you were doing this without Gene Segura. You continue to do this without the reigning NL
Yeah, there we
MVP
go.
and
Say
Bryce
MVP.
Harper. You were doing this missing 2 of your 5 starters, a bullpen game 2 out of every 5 days, right? And that's what's so impressive to me. That's another thing that feels different. This team would have folded in the past when Bryce went down.
Mhm.
George, it's not that they're just floating. It's not that they're just staying alive and treading water. They have the second best record in baseball over the last 58 games. They have the 3rd best record in baseball since June 1st.
Yeah.
So what are we
Yeah.
talking? We're not talking about this is just a 2-week thing with this team.
No.
This has been going on throughout the summer, and I don't see an end in sight of this run. Like I don't see them hitting that cliff that they've hit the last 2 years come late August. I don't see it happening
You
this
don't
year.
see it because it's different. Like it, and I know a lot of people say it's different every year, but this year is different. You have established guys. You got guys that are rightfully so getting paid over $20 million a year. You have a core in your top 5. Thank you so much. Jason. Top 5, top 6. It's like you have guys that are going to hit, and they're going to hit consistently, and you know they are. And it's like when Bryce goes down, you're looking at Costi to get going because you know Schwarber's there, you know Hoskins there. You're looking at JT to get going because they're both cold. Now look what it looks like when they're all hot. It is incredible, and this is all without Bryce Harper, like we said. So there's just nothing but rainbows and sunshines on the other way because Harper is probably a month out. Like if I'd say so, like a month out. We'll probably see him in September.
Correct.
So there's nothing that I see in the future except for major injuries to multiple players that this team is
Something they've already gone through.
Yeah, exactly. Right. This team is gonna keep going. They are a good baseball team. We finally have a good baseball team. I had my friend yesterday. He doesn't watch Phillies much. He was like, I watched for a while. Can you give me like a rundown? Is our bullpen still shit? That's the first thing he said.
How out of touch is this guy?
First thing he said, and I was like, no, it's actually good. He's like, you're lying.
No.
I swear to God, we have a good bullpen. So things have definitely turned around.
Not just
teams.
good, deep.
Deep.
Guys can do different things in the back end of this rotate of the bullpen. So it's all, like you said, it's all sunshine and rainbows for the time being. But moving into this next series, and then we can even gloss over the series that comes after that because Jason touches on it here. We are going to face Alcantara, Scherzer, and DeGrom in this 4-game stretch starting Thursday.
Yeah.
Well, I believe Alcantara is tomorrow.
Yes.
But then you're going to have DeGrom and Scherzer this weekend. I also believe that Wheeler, Nola, and Suarez are set up to start the 3 games in New York. But you can't get ahead of yourself.
No. Look at right now. Because it's the Miami Marlins in front of you.
Right.
And you need these wins.
Right.
Because
So-
you are holding a wild card spot, but it is one game.
Oh, they're not just holding a wild card
No,
spot.
they
buddy.
are. They're
Forget the 3 seed. Forget not the 3 seed, but forget the 3rd wild card
They're
spot.
3 games back
My
from Atlanta.
eyes are up here, and they're coming for you if you're an Atlanta Braves fan. Forget the first of all.
We got a big
I'm,
series with the
I'm
Mets coming
joking with this statement, but forget the Padres.
Oh yeah.
Forget the first of all.
Oh yeah.
A whole game lead. I know it's a lot. A whole game lead on the Padres, but the Phillies have 4 games in hand on San Diego.
Yes.
San Diego's played 4 more games than the Philadelphia Phillies at this point. Well, that's humongous,
Insane, yeah.
right? So let's get to tonight's matchup. Let's start with the pitching matchup. Wheels. It's a Wheels day.
Wheels
Zach
night.
Wheeler, 10-5 on the year with a 2.69 ERA, looking like he's finding his groove. He's been great all year, but there were
There
moments
was
where
moments, yeah.
it wasn't what we were accustomed to
Scary.
for Zach Wheeler. And I feel like over his last 3, 4, 5 starts, he's kind of been cruising,
Yeah.
right? Coming off a dominant performance against Wasn't the Nationals. It was the Pirates series, right?
Pirates.
Or no, I'm sorry, the Braves. It was the Braves day game.
Braves day game.
Yeah.
Yes. I was at work. That's why.
And then the Phillies are going against Braxton Garrett. He's 2-5 with a 3.88 on the season. George, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I know a lot about Mr. Braxton.
Yeah.
Do you?
I know a little bit.
A little bit?
He's
not Spencer Strider, is he?
He's not Spencer
Okay.
Strider, which is
Good.
huge. He is a lefty, which is obviously huge because the Phillies are throwing 7 righties in the lineup tonight, and it's everybody except Schwarber in the last spot in Marsh. So he's gonna have to see a lot of action tonight. Mostly throw slider, fastball, sinker mix, heavy on the slider, fastball. I say he's very inconsistent. He's very up and down. Kind of to put it into terms, his last 2 starts have been against the Reds, right?
Sure.
Game 1, pitched 5 innings, allowed 5 earned runs. In his second game, his next start against the Reds, struck out 11 and 5 2/3. So he's a very up and down pitcher. His ERA has been up and down all year. It's hit high 5s. It's now at 3.88. So we have 4 guys that haven't faced him. It's Schwarbs, Costi, Matty V, and Marsh. You're throwing a lot of righties at the dude. I just feel like this is a Phillies hitting type of night. It really just feels like they're gonna just pop off. It does.
It just feels like the momentum
Yeah.
is snowballing.
Yeah.
Like I said before, I don't see an end in sight in terms of this team kind of just falling off that cliff at some point when we get our hopes up. I don't see that, and I don't see this lineup struggling right now. Reese Hoskins has homered in 4 straight games. Now, I think it would be silly of us to assume, oh, well, Reese is going to go yard tonight. But when Reese gets into these grooves, this rhythm that he's in at the moment, it's scary.
It's very scary.
Because he, just like we watched Schwarber do, just like we watched Alec Boehm do in July, Reese can help carry your offense. Castellanos, the pop is back.
It's very back. You see that home run?
That ball went 685
Left
freaking
the
feet.
stadium.
He seems to be back.
Yes.
Schwarber has cooled off, but it's always a possibility with his pop at the top of the lineup. Gene coming off a 3-hit performance on Sunday. He looks to be right back, pick up right where he was when he got injured. So I love that Thompson, to get back to your point of throwing the righties out there. Again, I'm sorry, this isn't something you would have seen the last 2 years. This isn't something Girardi would have done.
It's the first thing I thought too.
You wouldn't see it. Just like you wouldn't see Derek Hall in the lineup every game against the right-hander. You wouldn't see Matt Vierling starting in right field tonight. You wouldn't see
Sosa.
right. He's got Sosa at short instead of Stott. And we're going to get to the lineup card in a second to just go over all of it. But I love that he's loading up on this kid, because guess what? If you can always fix your lineup and make adjustments if you get to the pen early, right? So he's loading up heavy righties because of the lefty. Okay, well, let's say you get to him or you don't get to him, but he only throws 5 2/3. They go to the pen, they switch it up. Stott's on the bench.
Yep.
Hall's on the bench. Double switch anyone you want. Like, there's things you can do, and that's why I love him front loading the righties to start. Hopefully it goes well, like he's planning, and if it doesn't, there's a contingency plan. There's a backup plan in place. You would think.
Yeah. First thing I thought too is you probably wouldn't see this in the years prior, and it feels good to actually get out there and have a smart manager. Honestly, I mean, throwing 7 righties just makes complete sense. And you have guys on the bench that are capable of you can plug in very easily, so it's an easy decision.
So KC checks in. By the way, guys, check him out. This graphic behind us brought to you by my man KC here at DSM Media.
It's so clean.
So clean. I put together my own thumbnail for the show today, George. I sent it to you. He goes, yeah, that's fire. And then I pull up this picture KC sent, and he goes, nah, dude, that's a little, like, it's cleaner. Like, it looks better. So we rolled out this one for the pregame live. But he wants to talk about Imundo Sosa. Gets the start tonight. Thoughts on the kid? I mean, hasn't played a ton.
Yeah, hasn't played.
But made an impact on Sunday. Everyone made an impact on Sunday.
Yes.
But he made an impact on Sunday. And I let's lump him and Marsh kind of together, because these are 2 guys that were brought here mainly for their speed and for their defense. Both of these guys, in the short amount of time they've been a Philly, have been able to make contact, drive the ball into the outfield, and get on base and score runs for this team in the first series they've been a part of them. So,
you want to hear something crazy? I
can't wait to hear this.
fully, full-heartedly, 110% believe in this front office. Because we have guys, and we've had guys the entire season just produce. It doesn't matter who it is. We have guys who come in, trade for somebody, you sign somebody, it's like, okay. But they've always produced, always, no matter what. So I'm liking this year, and them trading for Edmundo Sosa was A-okay in my book. That was fine.
I made fun of it when they did it.
Yeah, no, you were texting me.
I was like,
what is this doing?
he's hitting 189 on the year. I didn't
sure.
see it, but I thought he would be a guy that come the 8th, 9th inning, you're up a run or two.
You need a glove out there.
You need a glove out there to shore up the left side of the infield. I'm all for that. I didn't expect him to get some runs starting at shortstop. Now, that's not going to keep up, but he looks better than I thought. And to your point, it's fun, isn't it? You know why it's fun? Because what do we always joke about here in Philadelphia? We trade for guys or we bring free agents in and they forget how to play.
Yeah, always.
Right?
Yep.
So far, with the two guys, with their struggles, with what they were struggling with before they came to Philly, they're overachieving slightly in this early juncture of what we expected.
The staff, dude.
Sosa was fine at the plate.
Marsh
has been fine at the plate.
I think they're gonna fix Marsh.
Yeah, me too.
I really do.
Me too.
I really do.
Me too. Did you also, real quick, before we get to the lineup card, did you see Caleb Cotham was working with Noah Syndergaard today on the side with his release?
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
so
He's very
maybe
slow.
he is.
Very
He
slow.
is something we didn't get to discuss.
No.
He's
tough
slow to the
It was a
plate.
bad
Mike
first game.
Franco stole a bag on him. Something I didn't quite understand. His early count stuff
Yeah.
was dirty.
0 for 2, 1 for 2.
Every at bat,
Kept seeing.
every single at bat, and next thing you know, every 0-2 count, every 1-2 count, here comes a changeup or a four-seamer right down Broadway
Right down the pipe. Yeah.
with not a lot of mustard
Wouldn't
on
move
it.
At all.
No.
No. Yeah.
No, stiff as a board, about 91, right over the heart of the
Thank
plate.
God for Mother Nature. that game was tough.
Yeah, man. I mean, I had him for 3+ Ks in my parlay, and he threw 2, and he was getting pulled. So you want to talk about frustration with all those 1-2 counts, 0-2 counts? Because I'm sitting here, I'm like, no, one more. I'm like, okay, 1 strike, 2 strike. Oh, that's a blooper into the gap.
5, right? Or he did
No, he
what?
threw 2, dude.
Oh yeah.
He threw 2.
No, innings.
5 innings. Yeah.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
threw a complete game.
Yeah. Well, technically,
It's none of my business.
Yeah.
All right, man. Let's move on to the lineup card here tonight, guys. Excuse my mug. I hate when this happens, but here is your lineup for the first game of a 3-game stand against the Miami Marlins. Kyle Schwarber in left field, leading off tonight's game. Rhys Hoskins in the 2-hole at first base. Alec Boehm on the hot corner, hitting third. JT continuing in that cleanup spot for the time being. I want to talk about that for a second. He's catching tonight. Nick Castellanos, kind of like it. Gets a day to breathe, gets a day to relax, DH, focus on what he's got to do at the plate. Gene bumped up a little bit because of what the back end of your lineup looks like.
Yeah.
Gene's hitting 6th at second base. Matt Vierling gets a start in right field, hitting 7th. Edmundo Sosa at shortstop, hitting 8th. And our newly acquired center fielder as well, Brandon Marsh, wrapping up that lineup in center field.
Yeah.
Thoughts on the lineup as a whole, and then I want to get to JT continuing to be in that cleanup spot.
Love it. All right. I love the lineup as a whole. I mean, it's pretty much very simple. He's just throwing complete righties at this kid. Obviously, it's kind of what you want to do against a lefty, and he's
Correct.
slotting Marsh 9th, which is like perfect. You're starting with Schwarbs. You're not moving Schwarber. You're keeping him at the leadoff, and then you're just throwing 7 straight righties at him. So I love this lineup. The top half is going to do what the top half has done. So there's nothing just not trust there. And the bottom half just makes sense. You're gonna push up Segura, like you said, because of the bottom half of it, how it looks. Matty V, Sosa, Marsh at the bottom. It's fine. I like this lineup a lot, especially against this pitching matchup.
Well, exactly. And I think that's the biggest thing. And I'm sure there's some Phillies fans out there scratching their heads.
Yeah, probably.
Why is this the lineup you're rolling out there with who you got? Blah, 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 blah. Because you can hopefully, knock on wood, don't want to get ahead of myself, you can get away with this against the Marlins. You can get away with this against the Nationals. Now, if I see this lineup this weekend, I might have some questions.
Mhm.
I probably wouldn't have my 7, 8, 9 looking like Vierling, Sosa, Marsh against DeGrom and Scherzer and company. But against the Marlins, you should, keyword should, be able to get away and win this ball game. I'm sure you'll see Garrett Stubbs at some point this series before you get into the Mets series. Get JT a day off. I think Thompson has been continuing to push all the right buttons, and I'm done questioning him.
Yeah,
He continues to just make the right calls pregame, postgame, in-game. Doc
yes.
Rivers,
Yes.
if you're listening, take a page out of my man's notebook.
Yes, please. So you bringing it back? So coach of the year, manager of the year.
So this was ready, man. So I filled in for Phil on Trending in the AM on Monday.
Mhm.
It's Overreaction Monday. It's what he likes to
Yeah,
do,
yeah,
right?
that's
So I
just it.
came with 3 Overreaction Monday statements. And my first one, after watching the series against the Nationals, was that they are going to catch the Braves for the first wild card spot.
Yes, I agree.
My
agree.
second is that Rob Thompson is not just a interim. He can be a long-term solution.
100%.
Now, however long-term, I don't know the answer to that. But what this man has done, again, I think people need to get this straight, right? He isn't doing this fully loaded.
No.
He has been able to get the most out of each and every one of these guys and this team short-handed. We've already talked about the losses and the injuries this team has gone through, and they still, again, I'm going to repeat myself here, had the 3rd best record since June 1st. They have the 2nd best record just behind the Dodgers in the last 58, basically 60 games. That is no fluke. That's no coincidence. He's pushing all the right buttons. They clearly love to play for him. He will be here next year. I can guarantee that for the full year.
Yeah, it's a few things. It's like you just see it when these guys talk about him. They respect him and they like him. It's like with Girardi, you didn't get any of that. You got no respect. You got nothing in the media of like, this guy pushes me, blah, blah, blah. You get it with Tomber all the time. 38-19 under him. 38-19. How long have you not had Bryce?
I believe I saw that pace over a regular season span is like 104 wins.
Yeah,
That's a 104 win pace.
Dude, like,
By the way, they are on pace currently this season,
Yes.
even after the slow start, to win in the mid-90s. Loaded, I think it's 94 wins or right around there.
It's like
which with this schedule is easily,
Well, do you know how many
approachable.
How many games in the next 35 are against teams under 5?
Oh, I know the schedule, bro. So
28
here's what I
games.
know about the schedule before we get on to keys to victory, predictions, best bets, all that stuff to wrap up the show here. I know that they play the Braves 2 more times. They play the Mets 2 or 3 more times. Again, division, so as expected.
Yeah.
They wrap up the year with a 3-game set against the Astros. They had the Blue Jays for a 2-game set at home. I'm almost positive that's it. I know they play the Marlins. They play the Cubs again. They play the Pirates again. They play the Nationals 7 more times. They play the Diamondbacks. They play the Reds in 2 series. They play, I believe there's 1 more series. The schedule is so
Weak.
Attainable for 90 to 95 wins.
Yeah, completely. It's ridiculous. Like, there's no doubt in my mind that this team is a playoff team. And it's not even just because, like, looking at everyone around them, I just think we're better than the Brewers. We're better than the Cardinals.
They're better than the Brewers. And I think they're better than the Cardinals.
And like
here's the thing, it's not an outlandish thing to say. They already have the tiebreakers over them. Mm-hmm. That's another thing. Since losing Harper, they currently have the tiebreakers over the Cardinals, Brewers, and Giants in the NL wild card. So even if they were to lose a little bit of ground here, even if they were to slip back to that 3 spot in the wild card, they still have the advantage over the other 3 teams chasing them.
Yeah. And like you said, we have 4 games in hand against San Diego,
right,
which is the team that's like, okay, Josh Bell, Juan Soto. It's like, oh shit.
Oh,
you gotta look out for them.
You mean 1-5 in their last 6
you
games.
could- no, you
Uh,
can't say
that team?
You could all
That
say
team?
that.
All right, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I'll just throw that out there.
Yeah.
Who am I? You know. All right, man. Let's get into keys to victory for tonight's matchup. These are always interesting to go over because the first couple of shows we've done here together on DSM Pregame Live, we keep it fairly simple.
Yeah.
But I'm going to stick with the one thing that I said in the Pittsburgh game, that I said in the Braves game. The top of this lineup is what's going to continue to carry this team, specifically on a night where you're wrapping up your order with Vierling, Sosa, Marsh. I hope those guys come out and produce in the box. But if they're going to put up runs tonight, if they're going to beat up on the Marlins, it's going to be because of the top 4 to 5 guys in this order. And that's what I want to see. I want to continue to see Rhys Hoskins, JT Realmuto, Nick Castellanos, Gene Segura. I want to continue to see them just boom, 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 boom. Stay on pace with what they've been doing.
I think that's the right answer, honestly. I do. I think that's the right answer. That's what I was going to go with. Completely agree with everything you said. I'll do another one. I think arms. I think all around. I think if Wheeler goes deep in this game, lets up 1 run, I think the Phillies put up 2-3 runs, you win this game. If Wheeler goes out there, he gives you a Wheeler performance, 6-7 innings. The bullpen is capable enough to go out there and shut down the Marlins for 2-3 innings. They are. So I think the arms are a huge part of this game. I think if you get a regular Wheels performance, you go out there and rely on the bullpen for 2-3 innings. I'm not scared. I think Phillies put up 3 runs and you win this ball game.
I think it's important to go back to what you just spoke on with Zach Wheeler and Phil. The last time it was the first Pirates game, and we kind of said you need a Zach Wheeler performance here. It's lesser competition. It's a bad game, or even the Nola versus Miami, or I'm sorry, Nola versus Washington.
Yeah,
You still want to see those dominant performances from your ace, from your top 2 guys, and it's not like the key to victory. It's not like he's going against DeGrom this weekend and he needs to outduel DeGrom. That's not the case here tonight. But I want to see him go and put his foot on their throat from opening pitch and not let up. I'd say 6 2/3 to 7 innings work for Zach Wheeler tonight. No more than 2 runs given up.
Yep, there it is. Not
a lot of hits. I'll save my other prediction for my best bet. Almost let it slip, but I'll save it. And I do think it's important. It's just what you're seeing lately is all around team wins. You didn't see them beat the Nationals 2-1, and the bats couldn't get going, but the pitching dominated. You didn't see them winning 13-9, and the bullpen was getting beat up. You saw them from first inning through the 9th inning, 13-1, 7-2, 11. What was that game? 11-5, whatever. It was an all-around team performance, and that's what I want to continue to see from this team.
Yes.
Speaking of, let's get to our best bet segment of today's show. We need a sponsor for this segment. So if you guys know anybody looking, hit us up. You'll love us. You'll love me specifically. If people are taking my bet so far,
what's your
come
record?
talk to us.
What's your record?
We're 0-3 to start, bud.
We?
Well, me.
2-1.
All right. Well, first of all,
yeah, this is a combined.
No. But you've also taken Austin Riley 2+ bases. He lost to 1. Yeah. And my luck hasn't been the greatest, but tonight, ladies and gentlemen, tonight's the night. It gets turned around. Tonight is the night. We already. And bet. You know what? You know what? To get my record a little more evened out.
Oh.
I don't just have one best bet of the night. I have 2 best bets of the night for this Phillies Marlins matchup. But first, I'm going first. Well, I'll give my first. I'll let you go.
Okay,
and I'll wrap up my second because you apparently have one that somehow outrageous. But we'll see. We'll get to that in a second. My first best bet for tonight, my 1A tonight. Again, You know me too well. Tell DraftKings I'll be their best customer.
Dude,
I'll
it doesn't
drive.
make sense.
I'll drive
Dude, come on.
business to their site, and I just give out losing slips all the time. But not tonight, Kent. So if you want to win some money, take this advice right now. Zach Wheeler. We just spoke about him, right?
Just did, yeah.
We said he's probably going, 7 strong tonight?
6-7, dude.
Marlins.
Yeah.
Zach Wheeler over 6.5 Ks. It's plus 100.
Yeah.
It's plus money, even
And
money.
It's crazy because I looked at it in the AM, right? At like 8 a.m.
Did you?
It was minus 150.
Wow.
So, a lot of
So what's happening?
A lot of people are betting against him.
Yeah, they
which
are.
is kind of a
They
good-
are.
Kind of a good sign.
And I like to fade.
I
I fade the streets.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
Okay.
Yeah. And
So
like,
I'm going
yeah,
wheels
good
over
one.
6.5 Ks plus 100. You really, you can't really beat that, dude.
No. And like you look at the
The dude's
Marlins
pumping
you
this
look
year.
at the Marlins lineup and like they haven't struck out a lot against him. Like Cooper's 3 for 9 with 3 Ks. Like Aguilar's 2 for 13 with 1. But like he hasn't 4 of these guys haven't faced Wheeler in this lineup tonight against the Marlins. So it's
Advantage wheels.
They're gonna get a taste of wheels. I think it's advantage wheels. in that
Learn
department.
real quick.
Yes.
So that's my first best bet. Over 6.5 strikeouts for Zach Wheeler at plus 100. That was on DraftKings. I don't know what it's at on FanDuel.
On FanDuel is minus 108. So it's not it's not much.
Not
Put
much.
Eight
Not
more
much.
dollars on it and you'll even out.
There you go. I can't wait to hear this one.
Yeah. So if I asked you what is Edmundo Sosa's stats against Braxton Garrett in his career, would you know?
I want it.
They are would you like me to tell you?
Sure.
Yeah, they're 3 for 4
Whoa.
with a triple and 2 singles against Braxton, right? I mean, it's also a righty-lefty matchup, so in our favor already.
Right.
I'm going Sosa. I think this is the Sosa coming out game. This is the
Coming out
Phillies
party?
coming out party. Earn your red pinstripes. This is it. This is the night that he comes out and he breaks loose. And I don't need him to break loose. I just need him to get 2+ bases.
Oh.
That's it. We're going Edmundo Sosa. We're
Hold on.
gonna go for
And
plus.
what's the odds
Yeah,
here?
we're going for plus money. Plus 200. It's the biggest one we've done so far. We're going plus 200. We're going a juicy bet that you want to bite like an apple. Go for it. Why
Earn
not? Go
your
for it.
red pinstripes
Plus 200
tonight.
This is
Mundo.
it.
I have
So,
another
yeah,
one.
I love it.
So here we go to wrap up the best bets segment of tonight. And you know what? I don't even know why this is where the line was set. You're talking about Braxton freaking Garrett, almost a 4 ERA. We're talking about the almost let out,
friendly.
almost let it out. This is a kid-friendly show. We're talking about the effing Fightins, the
here.
freaking Fightins. You got me?
Yeah.
Team total over 4.5 runs for the freaking Fightins. That's what I wanted to
What are
say
the
the
odds on
first
that?
time. It's minus 115.
Fine. Take that.
Throw an extra 15 bills on it, even us up.
Easy. I'll say we did, at least on our end, we parlayed Sosa and Wheels. That's plus 487 on FanDuel. So I think we're hitting today. I think we're going 3-0.
We did.
I think we get everything up today. I think this is it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're
And
eating. I think we're eating tonight.
there's a couple more bets in the slip right now, George. And don't let me get hot, Kent. Don't let it happen. You know what else can't happen tonight if you're not a Phillies fan? Don't let the Phillies stay hot. Because you don't want the Fightins to stay hot. But
No.
guess what? They're going to.
They are going.
And you know what's going to happen tonight? They're going to have Braxton Garrett exiting this game within the 5th inning.
Yes.
He's
4
not
and
getting to the
2/3,
6th,
4 and 1/3.
something like
Yeah.
that. Team total might even hit in the first 5. Let me throw that out there,
Yes.
okay? I'm going Phillies get the win tonight. They stay hot. This would make hold on, what's my math here, George? 6 in a row.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
okay.
whoa,
I
where
thought
were
you
you
said
going?
I thought you were
Oh
going
no.
record.
I'm going 6 in a row right here. 6 in a row for the Fightins tonight. They are going to win. I'm confident, man. I think the
Yeah.
bats stay hot. I'm not going to go overly confident, but I'm going to throw out a 7-piece.
Ooh.
Throwing a 7-piece for the Phillies. I'll give the Marlins 3, maybe. I'll throw them 7-3. That's what I'll put it
That's
at.
funny. All right, so I was gonna do 7-2.
Ooh.
Yeah, so I'll stick with that because that's not the same thing.
It's not.
That Philly 7-piece, maybe it's a lucky 7-7 there, right there. So yeah, 7-2 Phils. Phils get hot.
Stay hot.
Stay hot. Stay hot. They get hot tonight because they had a day off, so they get back to being hot. And we roll. I think we roll. I think we keep it going. Get the 61 win mark. Add another half a game of the wild card, possibly. So we'll see. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Scared money don't make no money, George.
No, sir.
Everybody, thank you so much for watching DSM pregame live Phillies Marlins preview. We should have a little bit of time. If you're going to catch the replay, we have about 15 minutes. So head on over to @DSM_media on Twitter. Hit that follow button. Check out the link tree in our bio. It'll take you to our YouTube page, our Facebook page, IG, TikTok, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. We're all over the place. But most importantly, guys, head on over to our YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button. The road to 700 has begun. Help us get there. It's free. I mean, really, guys, it's YouTube subscription. Just hit the button.
Yeah.
It's free. It's daily content, daily Philly sports content, daily general sports content.
This, you love Philly sports.
You do.
You love everything.
You do. Hit that subscribe button, hit that follow button, turn on notifications, and have a great night. Everybody, ring that bell. Go Phillies. We'll see you guys possibly tomorrow night. Have a good one.
And Philadelphia has it.